I'm going to talk real quick. As Parker said, I'm Brandon Irwin's father. I own a gun store in Las Vegas. And many, many years ago, I had the opportunity to start sponsoring UFC fighters. And a lot of the footage you guys have seen, you might have seen this logo on their shorts or on their banner before they fight. And I've been very privileged to make very, very good friendships with a lot of these guys. And I thought bringing these fighters to talk to you could prove beneficial, hopefully help you guys, and give you an opportunity to get to talk to these guys up close and personal, because a lot of people don't get a chance to do this. And if these guys are at my store right now doing a signing, there's a line of a couple hundred people, and just walk up real quick, sign, get a picture, move on. And you guys have an opportunity here to go a little bit beyond that.
For me and for my job as well, and I think a lot of these guys will agree with me. I think a lot of the decisions that we make, all we have to do is just make the right choice at the right time. All the way through training camp, every day, from the moment we wake up in the morning and what we eat for breakfast to the moment we go to bed and what time we go to bed. It's just all about making good decisions and good choices. And for me, when I was 17, I had a whole bunch of friends that I was hanging out with that were older than me, all kinds of drink and drug problems, and I lost a lot of friends to all different kinds of substances. And and it just kind of, it was fortunate for me because I was exposed to that at a young age, so I was fortunate enough to make the decision early on, so I could step away from it and focus my energy on something else. But at that time, it was just the right thing for me to do. It didn't suit me or anything. My decisions that suit me are not necessarily going to be the same ones for you. I make decisions to have lots of tattoos, and a lot of people think that's a bad choice, but I make decisions that are the right choice for me. And I know a lot of you guys are here not out of choice, and the reason that might be is because probably you've not been in a situation where you've made a good choice for yourself, so somebody's had to do that for you. But going forward in your life, obviously, when you leave this place, the decisions are going to be up to you, and you've got to make these decisions for yourself. So every time you come to a situation, a crossroads, a choice, you just got to figure out, is that the decision I want to make, or is that the right decision? I know for me, smoking 20 cigarettes a day with my job is not the right decision to make, so I'm not going to do it. But the same thing goes for soda. I've got a bottle of water just there. Me drinking Coca-Cola all day is not going to help my career at all, so that would be a bad decision to make. Just like me stuffing my face with chocolate and In-N-Out burger all day, which I would love to do. I'd love to sit in front of the TV and just eat constantly, you know what I mean? But that's not a good decision for me to make. So for me, everything, regardless of what the choice is about, it's just looking at it, assessing it for yourself and for the point that you are in your life, deciding whether it's the right route to go for you. So regardless of what you're going to go on to, after you leave this place, and whatever you want to do with your life, it's all about just making the good choices and the right decisions to get you to where you want to go. And I've been fortunate enough to make the right decisions, to put myself in the right place to get to where I am now. I've made a couple of bad decisions in a fight. I've got myself knocked out a couple of times, and things like that happens. And some choices are out of your control, but the ones that are the important ones are the ones that you've got the control over. And
my cousin, he just like me, grew up in Hawaii. We hung around the same type of people. Went out and did the same things, and we used to like to go out, and I'm not ever going to really look for trouble, but I'm not going to run away from it, so to speak. I'm not even going to try to put myself away from it. Like, if somebody wanted to fight with me, I would step in front of them so that they would be like, okay, yeah, I want to fight with you, that's the type of person I was. My cousin, very similar to me, gets into a fight one night, like how we've always been doing. Hits this kid, knocks him out, kid goes into a coma. My cousin does 10 years in prison. Just recently got out. He's back in Hilo. He's in a halfway program right now. Kind of like something like what you guys are doing, where they're still supervised and being helped out, but they have a little bit of freedom. But I seen that happen, and I knew that I needed to change my ways. So I got into training, got into fighting, and it's been a long, fun but hard road, and I'm at the top league of the sport, you could say, the UFC. You can't get anywhere past it. Not me in the sport, I'm not a champion yet. I'm probably not even as big as these guys you see here. These guys, fought for the titles, world champions or whatever. But I'm working my way there, and same for you guys. You guys gotta start somewhere. You know, you gotta make, like Dan was saying, you make a decision, stick to it. Hard work pays off. Work hard, choose something, follow it, you know, have direction. It might be hard, you might not know what it is. Try things out. You guys are young. You guys have a lot of time in front of you know, try things out. But just when you find something you like, really work hard at it. Don't let,
You know, we're all there. We were all your age. We were all in basically the same shoes you guys have been in. And I mean, you know, for me, I get more nervous public speaking than I do fighting. Fighting's easy, but this is a little different. Anyway, you know, I think really a lot of just being able to deal with the situations you're in, you know, right now it's hard, you know what I mean? And really, just for us, I mean, for me personally, you know, I got into competing a little later in life. I was about 20, 21. I was, you know, I was kind of in the boat. I was a little bit making some bad choices when I was younger, when I got out of high school. I actually ended up joining the Marine Corps, and that was a big change for me in my life. You know what I mean? I had a lot of people that I started looking up to anyway. When I joined the Marine Corps, it was really a wake-up call for me. You know, I got a little more disciplined. I started learning martial arts, and that's when I got into MMA. And you know, for me, I had a lot of role models, a lot of people that I looked up to, and that's really what helped me, you know, start making the right choices. You know, because every day we get, you know, you get faced with this adversity, just these hard choices to make. You know, like we've all been there. You know, I mean, I'm sure everybody up here can relate to you in more than one way. You know, for me, I gained a passion to compete. You know, I started competing in wrestling, and I started competing in mixed martial arts, and you know, it's helped me, you know, keep a strong faith. You know, I've had a lot of, like I said, a lot of just good positive role models in my life. I've been really blessed to have that. So, you know, kept me on the right track, and started doing better in the UFC. You know, I mean, just keep pursuing my dream. And you know, like these guys said earlier, you know, when you find something you enjoy doing, you know, it's your passion. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. You find something you like to do, and you just keep pursuing it. You know.
You know, at some point, I don't know what it was exactly, but I lost track of what was important to me, and I remember feeling this feeling like I don't really care. Like, you ever get the I don't care feeling? I'm guessing somebody in this room had I don't care before. Somebody had it. You know, and you know what? I don't really care what's going to happen. You know, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. And I was hanging out with some older guys in college, and I went out, we partied that night, and I decided to get behind the wheel of the car and drive home. And cops pulled me over, and it's a crazy story. They pulled me over, asked me a bunch of questions, and they were giving me a lecture about to send me home. And they said, listen, you're better than this, you should be out of here, you had a couple of drinks, you're not drunk. He looks at my ID, you're 21. You're 21, right? I was like, no, I'm not 21. He talks to the other cop, and they take me in, just like that. And DUI, that wasn't the worst thing in the world. I went to the jail, and asked me a bunch of questions, took my picture and all that jazz. They let me go a couple hours later. That wasn't the worst thing. Told my parents, told my coaches. I was pretty bad. That wasn't the worst thing. You know, in the weeks following that, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go to school anymore. Penn State's an expensive school. At this time, I was on a full scholarship. Actually, I was just about to sign. I did good the year before, and my coach was like, you know what, we're going to put you on a full scholarship. And right before I could sign that letter of intent that says I'm going for a full scholarship for my third year at Penn State, all this happens. So now I'm right in the middle of not having a scholarship to a school I can't afford, going to school, I thought I was going to be in jail. Not being able to wrestle, and then it was like, whoa, who am I? I built all this I built myself up. This is what I've worked so hard for. Since I was 14, 15, I've been wrestling, working hard, losing weight. If you've ever had to lose 10 pounds in one day, you don't do it for nothing. And here I'm about to throw it away. And that is when I finally broke down, and I cried hard. I cried hard. Like the whole, like, you ever cry, like, till you go to sleep like a kid? I cried hard. And when I was done, you know, I realized I like my freedom. I like being able to wrestle. School is not my favorite thing, but for right now, I love it. And that's what kept me going.
When I was younger, hanging out with the wrong crowd, I got in trouble. We broke into somebody's house. So I don't know whose idea it was. I really can't remember. For sure it wasn't mine. Somebody's like, oh, they're not home. Let's go over here. Let's steal this. I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do this. Let's do this. I was for sure was the youngest one in the car. I might have been 8th grade, 9th grade. Who's in 8th grade right now? 7th grade, 6th grade, 9th grade? 9th grade? How old are you in 9th grade? 14, 13, something. Maybe 12. I might have been 12. I was always younger. I was always a younger kid. So 12 years old, I go break into this house. It's ridiculous. We ate their food. We stole their clothes and took the TVs. You know, just ignorant, man. Just ignorant. It was awesome at the time. Like, it was cool. You felt alive. And then we left. We didn't get caught. It was cool. You know, go hang out at Caris Park. Go smoke a blunt. Skip school. Don't go to school the next day. Then we go to school a day before a wrestling tournament, and one of the guys that was in the job with us was wearing the stolen clothes to school. And the kid that we stole the clothes from actually goes to the school. Ignorance, man. It's ignorance all around. Long story short, we got caught. I had to go get booked. That sucked.
And shortly after, I used the funds to purchase a motorcycle. It's funny, I bought one again now, but anyway. Different style, I rode street bikes, and one night I got around a light, broke my leg. Long story short is I had an issue with, personally, with pain pills, a bad problem with it, because it was kind of funny, because at the time, if you'd have told me drugs, I'd have said, you know, cocaine, marijuana, you know, those lines. If a doctor gives it to you, it's cool. And so I actually dealt with that for many years, and hurt my career very badly. I got to the point where I actually enjoyed, you know, obviously I have a beer and drink a couple pain pills, and it got real bad there for a little while. It wasn't until, I think Bear knocked me in the face, I really had to have a soul-searching experience, because it was one of those things where I really honestly thought that I could train and still party on the weekends, and as long as I was doing the right things and taking care of things, that it would, you know, it would all wash out in the end, and it wasn't true. The good thing about fighting is that it's real much of a truth serum. You can think, and you can bull yourself over and tell yourself different lies, and we all do. We're our best at giving ourselves excuses. But when you walk into, you know, an arena such as the Octagon, the guy across from you will kind of find out real quick whether you've been training properly, whether you've been eating properly, whether you put the right dedication in. And if you haven't, it's going to be a very miserable night and a very awful laughter party. So, you know, actually straightened up from that and turned my career around and realized that I couldn't play both fields. And so now, you know, I surround myself, you know, Hardy is one of my teammates, and, you know, with people that only have my best interests at hand. And, you know, I fight again now here in a couple months, and after that victory, I actually get to fight for the title again.
So we've just wrapped up the Fighter Talk here at Liahona Academy. I'm standing alongside Chris Irwin, the owner of the gun store. This was your brainchild, you putting this entire thing together. Can you explain a little bit as to why you decided to do it and how you thought it went today?
Well, I decided to do it because I thought the fighters could maybe help make a difference with these kids and share their own experiences that they've had in life, their own battles, accomplishing their own goals, and to try to help these kids understand a little bit about what they're going through because they can relate to it themselves. And I just thought it would be a great opportunity for these kids to get to meet and talk and hear these UFC fighters up close.
Well, you know, Chris Irwin from the gun store, he had asked me, Hardy had brought it up that he was going. And so when I found out that it was, you know, to talk to some teenagers that are aspiring to do better with their life, I saw it as an opportunity just to, you know, if something how I could help out in any way, Why wouldn't I? Pretty
You mentioned that you were kind of had a troubled youth yourself, and you went through a couple of things, and you got through it. But looking at some of these kids that are going through it right now, was it kind of a special time for you as well to be here and to see some of these kids going through that time?
Yeah, it's a difficult time, because a lot of the time you feel very distanced from everybody around you because they're not going through the same thing. You know what I mean? So like even parents and friends and siblings and stuff, they're not experiencing what you're experiencing, so it's very difficult to relate to anybody. So for me to come here and speak to these kids and just kind of let them know that we've had similar situations in our life that we've worked through, and and they can do the same thing. Hopefully it'll encourage them a little bit.
It's been great, just talking and sharing and revisiting those feelings of what it feels like to be in their seat and listening to somebody and wondering, if your life's ever going to turn out for the best. And it's just good to be able to give back.
So, Jake, you said right at the very beginning of this entire thing that you hate public speaking. And Chris Irwin said, you know what, I want you to come do public speaking. But you really seem like you had an impact today on a lot of these kids.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really not a great public speaker. It's something that, I like talking to kids. I think, any age, doesn't matter. I've done a lot of stuff, back home where I'm from in Nebraska. Talk to kids, youth groups, wrestling teams. So I like it because I can I can relate to them. I've been in their shoes. You know what I mean? Like we've all made some bad choices in our life, and it's just for me it's amazing how much impact and influence you have on kids this age. So you know what I mean? Like I knew if I had the time I was going to do it.
I've been through it, man. I want them to know that this isn't the end. Like this isn't just one stop on the way down. Like you can take this, take the right turn in the road, go to the right on the Y, and pick yourself up and do what you're supposed to be doing. So I mean it's good, and I don't mind sharing experiences like this as long as let's say one kid from this damn room benefits. That, to me, is probably one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life, So I hope one day one of these kids do something really big or become a CEO or do something really big, become a doctor and save somebody's life and tell me, hey, Brandon, you talked to me a long time ago when you guys came out to Utah. Come on, man. You can't have any better gratification or any better feeling than that. So I don't mind sharing at all.
I think it did make an impact on the kids. I was watching their faces and listening to them laughing and listening to their questions, and I think this was a complete success.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and thanks for being here.
Our pleasure.